I caught my wife cheating with her ex at a wedding, so I quietly left and made her regret it forever. When I first started dating, my dad gave me some advice, he said, "Son, men of value do not tolerate disrespect, manipulation, or lies from women. Stay true to yourself and always be a man of worth." Unfortunately, there was a change in plans. Love, the merger meeting was moved up, and I have to depart tomorrow morning. I won't be returning until late Sunday. I understand how significant this event is, especially because you are the maid of honor, but I was just elevated to CFO, and missing this meeting will be detrimental to both the firm and our future. "I'm truly sorry," I said. "Are you serious? We've been planning this for so long, and you're canceling at the last minute. I will be there alone." "Do you understand how embarrassing that will be for me? Couldn't someone else go instead?" Vera replied. "This contract is worth more than $2 billion, and I am in charge of it. We've been working hard on it for the past year, and no one else can take my position. Many people's jobs are dependent on our success. I realize that's difficult, but I'll make it up to you with the bonus we'll receive from this deal. I understand that you are upset, but there is nothing I can do. I'll be back Sunday," I explained. Needless to say, she was outraged. She stopped talking to me and instructed me to sleep in the guest room. I did not have any closeness or intercourse prior to my trip, which was not common. Her coldness and rage were out of character. I attempted to comprehend but couldn't calm her down, so I prepared for my trip and stayed the night in the guest room. I knew the wedding was important to her because of her friend Carol's troubles. Carol's ex-husband cheated on her during her life-threatening sickness, and then abandoned her because he couldn't bear her delayed recovery. It upset Carol and exacerbated her problem. However, following a miraculous recovery, Carol filed for divorce due to abandonment and suffered despair for the next 5 years. All of her friends and family were there for her, trying to cheer her up, but nothing seemed to help. Then, one day, she met a man at the grocery store, and her world instantly brightened. She reverted to her old self. Her friends' and family's prayers had been answered, and everyone wanted to celebrate the happy event. Brandon, her fiancé, adored her and planned a spectacular wedding. Vera, her best friend and maid of honor, remained by her side throughout. I understood how important this was to Vera, and I regretted having to cancel, but I was helpless. I knew I had to make amends to her and face her rage before departing for my trip. The next morning I tried to kiss Vera goodnight, but our bedroom door was shut and she did not open it. I told her how much I loved her and promised to call her when I arrived in Germany. Sadly, I walked to the waiting limo that would take me to the airport. I felt bad and disappointed by her reply. After 19 years of marriage, I still didn't comprehend my condition. I expected greater understanding and compassion. When I called her before my flight, her phone went to voicemail. I left another apologetic message, hoping to receive a response. I texted before takeoff and again after arriving 10 hours later but received no response. I knew she was upset, and I figured I'd have to apologize abundantly to recover her trust. With no other options, I contacted our twin girls at college and explained the situation, asking them to check on their mother and make sure she was okay. I highlighted my concern and the urgency of hearing back from them to allay my fears. They understood and conveyed their love for me. They've always been daddy's girls, and I love them dearly. When I arrived in Germany and settled into the hotel, I called my CEO for an update, only to learn to my dismay that the meeting had been cancelled owing to the other firm's CEO's family death. I immediately called the airlines and booked a direct trip to Chicago O'Hare, which is only 30 minutes from the reception venue. Because the wedding celebration was scheduled to begin at 7 o'clock in the evening, I calculated that I would be there by 9 o'clock in the evening to be a supportive husband. I believed that this gesture would make her happy. After I got my rental car, the GPS guided me to the reception hall. It was shortly after 9 o'clock in the evening when I arrived. The party was already in full swing. The area was packed with loud music, dancing, and plenty of beverages, with many attendees definitely having a good time and some drinking a little too much. I was glad to be there and looking forward to seeing my wife again. With over 200 people there, it was difficult to spot Vera at first, so I walked to the bar, ordered a double bourbon, and began looking around for her. Thinking back on our voyage together, I realized that Vera was 5 years older than me and had recently divorced when we first met. Her former husband, Dr. Clayton Adams, was completing his residency at Mercy Hospital when their marriage ended due to his infidelity with a nurse from his profession. Vera had thrown him out. Heartbroken by his dishonesty, she had envisioned a life full of children and joy. Her ex-husband's infidelity, however, dashed those hopes. The divorce impacted her hard, both emotionally and financially, because medical residents make little money. The settlement divided what little they had. Vera began working as a waitress to pay her bills. Faced with difficult circumstances, she gained a thorough grasp of Carol's situation. When Vera and I first met, it felt like a storybook romance. I was immediately smitten, despite her past pain and misery. I saw in her a wonderful treasure. Her attractiveness immediately drew my attention, however, it was her love and compassion that ultimately won me over. I helped her overcome her obstacles, transforming her life for the better. We spent 19 wonderful years raising our twin girls with much love. Vera enjoyed my open and honest approach to our connection. We constantly discussed the importance of loyalty and commitment, which provided her with a sense of security. I highlighted my admiration for faithfulness and my contempt for infidelity, commending her for having the fortitude to leave her cheating husband. I admired her resilience in getting through that terrible moment. Our marriage was founded on trust, loyalty, and dedication, which kept us together until the unexpected incident at the wedding. Vera was still incredibly gorgeous at 44, and I, 5 years her junior, was in peak physical condition because of my dedication to fitness and jogging. At 39, I felt like I was at the peak of my life. Our intimate relationship was solid, and the age gap between us was never an issue. Our twin daughters, Mara and Carrie, were thriving at college, full of life and optimistic about their futures. We had a happy, loving family and a marriage that appeared unshakable. That was until I noticed Vera at the wedding, sitting alone with her ex-husband Clayton. I knew Clayton was close with the bride, Carol, but his attendance at the wedding, particularly without his wife, surprised me. I was fatigued from my travels and fascinated about what I was witnessing. I paused to observe them intently, noting how friendly they appeared together, regardless of their history. I decided to step back for a moment to get a better idea of how they were engaging. It wasn't long before I felt like my world was falling apart. I was ready to intervene and disrupt their intimate moment when she abruptly rose, took his hand, and led him to the dance floor. Vera looked stunning in her tailored ivory gown, and I dearly hoped this was nothing more than a dance. Her confidence as they proceeded through numerous slow songs took me by surprise. I sat back, nursing my drink, and watched how things progressed. Vera had clearly been drinking. As seen by her flirting demeanor, which I knew could happen, she'd often get more loving and playful with me after a few drinks, which was typical for her. However, openly kissing another man, especially in front of her friends, was not normal or acceptable behavior. I was fully aware that she was my wife. This act of betrayal left me feeling both ashamed and outraged. Watching my wife share private moments, as well as watching him touch her improperly and exchange kisses with her, left me stunned and angry. I became enraged, and just as I was going to intervene and stop it, they returned to a table off to the side and began kissing as if they were on their honeymoon. I could clearly see his hands on her chest and her hand under the table. Just as I was about to approach them, I realized my marriage was over. I remembered what my father often said, "Hey guys, respect yourself. Do not put up with being treated poorly." So, I resolved to do something, but I remained calm. I could have made a big deal, ruined the ideal wedding, stopped them, and ensured it didn't go any further. But then I figured, if she wants him, she can have him. She isn't mine anymore. I'm feeling unusually tranquil. I got out my phone, zoomed in, and recorded several close-up photos and a brief video. Then I messaged her, "Guess what, sweetheart? My meeting was rescheduled, and I returned early. It appears that you are in good hands tonight. I'll go back home. I'm guessing you'll be spending the night with Dr. Clayton. I got it now why you've been avoiding my calls and texts. Have a blast, and here's to our marriage ending. I'll be gone by the time you get back tomorrow." I hit send and waited calmly to see if she received the message while watching her. I noticed her phone light up. She noticed, picked it up, and began pressing buttons, obviously looking for the words. Vera quickly sobered up, her expression serious when she saw my message. As soon as I saw her reaction, I left the gathering from my car. Vera must have spooked upon seeing me go, but I got outside before she could catch up. As I got in my car, I heard her yell, "Tony, please wait." I just gave her a chilly look, shook my head, got into my car, and drove away before she caught up. My phone started ringing, but I was too upset to answer. As she decided to return to her ex, it was evident that we were done. After capturing them together, we were done. It's been 22 years since I left that cheater, and she still returns to him at the first opportunity. She'll have to explain this disaster to our family and the kids because it's her fault. My phone was filling up with urgent text messages. "Tony, please come back. I need to explain. I love you. Please come back." Damn it, Tony, it's not as you think. I love you. But after 2 days of long flights, no calls or texts, her frigid demeanor, and seeing her with Clayton, I had no desire to hear her out. I was furious and refused to deal with her or her justifications. After ignoring 20 calls and texts, I eventually stopped and returned one text message. It said, "Forget you. I'm doing excellent at my job. My children are off to college and everything is paid for. I am free to do as I like." I still have enough youth to begin again. After driving for 4 hours of my 7-hour drive back to Nashville, I stopped at a diner for dinner and a little nap in the car before continuing my trek home. While eating my eggs and bacon, I decided to share my sentiments with the world. At the time, Facebook was the most popular social networking platform, where people exchanged updates about their lives. Between bites, I updated my Facebook status from happily married to single and available. Then I shared 2 images I had taken of Vera and Clayton kissing passionately at the wedding. In the second photograph, his hand is plainly on her breast. Below the photo, I commented that Vera was upgrading and rejoining with her ex-husband while I was returning to the dating scene. It may have been immature, but to me, it was the truth. I was moving forward without her. The weird thing is that her ex, Clayton, was nearly 50, balding, overweight, and frankly not an upgrade in any manner. It's puzzling that she did it for an old man who had already cheated on her. Perhaps she preferred a doctor to an accountant. Honestly, it stung, it ached a lot. I was in greater pain than I could ever remember. I felt sad and outraged, but it also seemed ludicrous. She is terminating a 19-year marriage with an elderly man who cheated on her over 20 years ago. Forget her, forget him. They are made for each other. I'm not the sort to tolerate such disrespect. Some may think it was simply a kiss and some caressing, and it isn't worth leaving her. In my opinion, either my girlfriend is committed to me or she has the freedom to be with another person. We all make our own decisions. Following my late breakfast and 2-hour siesta in the van, I started the road again and pulled into my driveway around 7 o'clock in the morning. When I turned on my phone, it began sifting through dozens of alerts. There were so many that I didn't think they'd stop. There had to be at least 100 messages from her parents, her sister, and friends. Within 5 minutes of turning on the phone, it began ringing, and I realized it was Vera. I wondered if she slept last night or spent it with Clayton. No matter. I ignored her calls because I was over it and merely wanted to get out of the house and move on. I got along well with her family, so when they contacted me that morning, I answered the call and told her father what had happened. James, I had no indication she was dissatisfied with our marriage, but adultery was the final blow to our happy existence. I cannot take her contempt in front of people we know. She clearly still has affections for that jerk, and now she can be with him. I intend to find a woman who will appreciate what I bring to the table and remain loyal. James, I don't have any other options. I'll move out today and immediately put the house up for sale tomorrow morning. I'll contact a lawyer to begin the divorce proceedings. She can stay here until the house is sold, and I will make sure the divorce is fair. Call me old-fashioned, but I refuse to live with a lady who wants someone else. She made her decision, but I do not believe it was wise. James arrived more than 1 hour later, pleading with me to wait and talk to her before taking severe action.